Hello everybody, welcome to the official second video of this channel. I'm actually pretty proud that I have the motivation to even continue this channel even after the first video. So quick disclaimer before we start the video. While I was thinking about what I wanted to do for the second video of this channel, I was trying to figure out which topic I should start on. So I'm gonna make like a check system and I'm just gonna check every single topic down. So eventually I can repeat topics like, for example, skits or something like that. So that's the disclaimer and I hope you enjoy the video. All right, what to think about before pursuing pro MMA? First topic, injuries and how it can affect your daily life. So this topic specifically hits home for me because after my last MMA match, I broke my hand. I think I fractured my metacarpal in my hand and it literally ruined my life for the time being. I got fired from my job. I was basically depressed because I couldn't go outside. I couldn't play sports. I couldn't draw. I couldn't write. I couldn't play guitar. I couldn't do anything with my life because of my hand being in a cast for majority of that injury. It was horrible. So this is always something fighters don't think about, like how easy it's going to be for you to get injured. During my last fight, I won. So it doesn't matter if you win or lose. There's still a very high chance that you're going to get injured, that a bone of yours is going to get broken, and you're going to have to live with that for the rest of your life. It's not a very beautiful thing to think about. Injuries in this sport are very common because of the wear and tear of the sport. So no matter what you do, it can happen in the gym, it can happen in the cage, it can happen outside because of the wear and tear. And it's just a very common thing in this sport. So if you're willing to live with permanent damage to your body, then kudos to you, man. Your life outside of MMA. So let's start with school, right? Elementary school, middle school, college. Personally, I'm in college. I'm in UConn, right? I realize how hard and difficult it is to even pursue this career during college, because the first thing that I have to worry about is getting a job, which is our next thing to talk about. The most two important things past high school are education and a job. Those two things take up 90% of your schedule. I even coming up here to UConn, I found it so difficult to get decent work up here for a while because one, the economy is bad. It's super hard to get a job now. Two, my college schedule takes up majority of my time. So I have to navigate my job schedule. I have to navigate my school schedule to be able to train at a consistent rate, to be able to fight. And that sucks because let's say you have a fight this Saturday. There's no guarantee that you're going to get a day off from your job. And that is a horrible thing to think about. Social life. If you think you're going to have a social life and be a pro MMA fighter at the same time, you got another thing coming, dude. You are not going to have a social life as an MMA fighter. You're not going to have a girlfriend. You're not going to have close ones. Your life is literally those three things: school, job, MMA. You are not going to have a social life. And if you do have a social life, then you're not 100% on the road to trying to get to pro. Because if you're trying to become pro, this should be all of your life. Now, if you're in a situation where you don't go to school, then shoot, maybe you can have a social life. Maybe you have more time on your hands to be able to officiate your life around MMA. But if you do go to school, it's going to be significantly harder. So that's just another thing to think about. Next topic, grindiness within the sport. So we're going to start with bad managers. After one of my fights, a guy tried to come up to me and he tried to give me a contract. Big red flag. If someone comes up to you after your fight and tries to give you a contract, do not sign that contract. So I checked out this guy's credentials. I checked out his page. I saw that so many comments were saying how they signed them to a horrible contract, how he tried to take all of their money. It's horrible. And this is not an uncommon thing. This is a very common thing within this sport. Even UFC managers now are being exposed for setting up their fighters for bad fights to get in the good graces of the UFC. That is horrible, because managers are supposed to protect fighters. They're supposed to make sure that you have a good path in your journey of trying to get to the UFC. Next thing, bad promoters. Bad promoters are the most common thing in this sport, besides bad managers. Bad promoters are people that are going to set you up to get you messed up in a fight. Bad promoters are people that aren't going to promote you at all, or people that don't give you fights. Most promoters are like that. If you don't make your promoter money, they're not going to give you a decent fight, or they're not going to give you a fight at all. If you give your promoter a good, decent amount of money, you're going to get good fights. You're going to get easy fights. I remember my first fight, I know I didn't sell a lot of tickets for that fight. I got set up. He had more experience. My first opponent had more experience than me. He had a better team than me. And, I was destined to lose that fight. Luckily I didn't lose that fight. But imagine, right? Like, if you're in a situation where you're getting set up, you're supposed to lose. That's not a good thing to think about. And most of the time, you don't know if you're getting set up. Most of the time, you think you're all cool buddy with the promoter, and the promoter throws you against Big John with a 10-0 record, and he's trying to slam your head in against the cage. Like, it's a horrible thing to think about in this sport, and that's why your head always has to be in a swivel. You can't trust anybody in this sport. Gem cancers. There's always going to be that one guy that is jealous of your success. There's always going to be that one guy that wants to injure you, hurt you on purpose, or just beat you up for their own self-interest. Like, they want to have the ego and be like, oh, I can beat you up. You can win a fight, and they'll purposely come after you and beat you up just to feel better about themselves. You always have to look around for gem cancers. A lot of people don't want you to succeed. A lot of people don't want to see you be happy. You always need to be aware of your surroundings and people in this sport. If that's a promoter, a manager, or a teammate, right? Managers are business partners. Promoters are business partners. Your teammates couldn't be friends, but you have to establish that with them. So always remember that. Monopolies and the likeliness of making it to the UFC. So let's be honest right now. The UFC is a monopoly. There is no competition-based MMA organization that is competing with the UFC right now. One championship is not treating their fighters right. PFL, I don't even remember the last time I heard of a PFL card. The UFC is the biggest promotion in MMA. The likeliness of getting into the UFC is under 1%. That is insane. It's not like all these other sports like the NFL and the NBA and the NHL, blah, 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 hockey, whatever. It's not like that. But it's still significantly difficult because you got to look at the talent pool of the UFC. It's consistently getting better every single year, every single decade. Everybody is evolving, so it gets harder and harder and harder over time because everybody want to get into the UFC. Everybody wants to get into the UFC because there's no other promotion to be known. UFC is known as the glory promotion, as the best promotion out there with the best talent pool. So it's going to be super hard to get in there. You have to compete against everybody. Other promoters, other fighters, other managers. You even got to compete against your own body because your body might break down in the middle of this process. Next topic. Brain damage. See, I don't really like to talk about this topic too much because I currently struggle with this topic. I personally believe I have CTE. I personally believe that as I get older, the CTE is going to get worse. CTE is a progressive brain disease. It's basically early dementia. It's going to make you lose memory. It's going to change your behavior. It's going to do all that crazy stuff to you. It's going to make you crazy. I'm very scared of CTE. I'm very scared of brain damage. And I've come to terms that eventually, if I'm going to continue this career, it's going to happen to me. It's going to happen to most fighters. Brain damage, depending on your genes, is going to affect how regular you are, essentially. It's going to affect how calm, how you will react to people. Like, look at people like Aaron Hernandez. He had the worst case of CTE seen at his age, and he was outside killing people. I'm not saying CT caused him to kill people, but it surely, slowed down his brain functions to think otherwise. And that leads to the final question to yourself of, are you willing to go through this and that to pursue a pro MMA career? If you was to ask me this, I would say 100%. And the reason I say this is because I'd rather die happy chasing my goals and dreams than dying unhappy not chasing my goals and dreams. I feel like the point of life is to live it, You gotta live your life the way you want to live it. And I'm not saying you can't have a backup plan. Like, don't only think about just going to the UFC. Think about how much you love MMA in general. I love MMA. I want to teach people. I want to open a gym. I want to train people. I want to compete. Obviously, I want to fight, but it's not my 100% goal to make it to the UFC. I want to live around MMA. I have a YouTube channel dedicated to MMA. I have an Instagram dedicated to MMA. I want to live around it. So think outside the box with it. But yes, I'm willing to go through anything to pursue a life in MMA. And that's the video. I hope you genuinely enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, tell me what you think in the comments on the next topic that you think we should do. And see you next video.